Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of the SFL podcast. Y'all know who I am, Mighty RX, better known as Max Paul, owner of the Alaska Storm. Um, who could this be? So I want to thank y'all for joining us tonight. We're going to touch on some things here and some things there. And look at that! The regular host has shown up. And with me tonight, ladies and gentlemen, highly acclaimed Mr. Hamilton. Andy, what is good?
What's up, Mighty? I had to run, but I made it.
I'm glad you made it, sir. It has been a while since the populace got to hear your voice. Since you've been out on assignment, you're wanted by everybody apparently. So it's nice to have you back on the show. It's nice to have you back on the show.
Always good to be here. Always good to be here. Especially this week of the year because things are about to get crazy, man.
Not only do you have the championship game around the corner coming up Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, you know what I'm saying? We got so many things. Like, it might have been quiet on the regular discussion channels, but my goodness, the owners channel was on and popping. We had the owners meetings this week. We also got to vote on the expansion hopefuls and who will be, so those are currently in the process of happenings. The expansion show was coming up Monday night. Don't miss out on that as well. Media day Tuesday, like you got a player progression that got just dropped on us like a hot potato the other day, and we're gonna touch on that a little bit during this podcast as well. So much goodness is happening right now. It's so much meat. Like it's my plate's full.
Oh yeah, and it's about to get fuller, Mighty, because and you don't know this, I have a teaser for us for something else that no one knows about except for Mr. Cameron Irvine and myself. We're gonna tease it here on the show later, but not just yet. So you're gonna have to stay tuned. We're going to try and get some more people in here so that they can hear the exciting news because there's more on the way, believe it or not, with all the stuff that the league puts on. We're going to have something else coming. But it looks like James Richards has joined us as well, Mighty.
I see that. James, thank you for joining us tonight.
I snuck in.
With that smooth voice.
Oh, baby.
Oh.
The Quiet Storm.
The SFL podcast at night.
Oh, good grief!
I just gotta say, Andy, I enjoy it when you tease us, so I'm looking forward.
What is happening? Oh,
well, good. I'm glad someone does. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Seeing that we have a nice and I guess we could call it a cast of characters with us this evening, let's not hang up any longer. We're going to get right to the thick of things. We're going to start with the championship game because, that is what is at the forefront. That is what this season is about. It's about getting that trophy, getting the ring on your finger that says you are the season 9 champion. The Aztecs, the Wildcat, one's in Mexico, one's not. One got a kicker who's a star, the other doesn't. It's just so many things. So, gentlemen, before I even go to y'all way, about who y'all like, why y'all like it. We're just going to go briefly about how we even got to this matchup to begin with. Let's start on the Chicago side of things. The Chicago Wildcats ended the season 8-4. They got to host, hey, nice successful expansion season, gentlemen. Y'all get to host the defending champions. Okay, not even host. Y'all get to go to the defending champions' house. And Chicago did valiantly there. They were able to beat the Queen City Corsairs by a tune of 42-34. They followed that up by having to face the number 1 run D in the Swarm. And the Atlanta Swarm, they put up one major fight. Such a major fight that the game went to double overtime. The players couldn't get enough of the game. But Chicago prevailed. They even overcame the game missing field goal towards the end of regulation to win that one 22-16, and that's how they got there. And on the Aztec side of things, the Aztecs finished the regular season 7-5, I believe. Yeah, 7-5.
Yep.
Because yep, they finished 7-5, number one seed in the West. They got to host the Hyenas, and the Hyenas gave them a battle. You know, the Aztecs jumped out, but the Hyenas fought valiantly to make it a ball game. Just the Aztecs were able to outlast them. Then they got to face the Red Hot Legion, and the Legion pushed them to. And there's a controversial call decided this ball game. We're still trying to locate the referee now who made this call because he hasn't been seen since the game has ended. I don't know what y'all got going there in Vancouver land. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know who you're talking about.
But the Aztecs were able to win this one, to win that game in overtime as well, 23-20, and that's how we got to this championship bout that we're about to, undergo come Wednesday night. So, gentlemen, we'll go James Richards first. Who you like Wednesday night? Tell me why.
So, as I was reflecting on how we got to this point with you, and I can say that for me, Mexico City had a few opportunities to not make it here throughout the season, whereas or throughout the playoffs, where Chicago has looked pretty much in control. And I think back to that Mexico City game where Mexico City, Vancouver, where, I don't know what formations were called, but it felt like cover two or some sort of blown coverages where it might have been it was either Vancouver game or Houston. But anyways, they gave up like 3 long touchdown passes to allow Mexico City back into it. And I know Shan is adamant against he just will not do cover two. And so I think if Mexico City gets behind early against Chicago, it's going to be really hard for them to catch up because they're not going to find that play against the cover two because it's not going to be there. They're going to be thrown into cover threes and cover fours. So it'll be interesting. I think Shan is one of the better coaches in the league, and I think he's done a lot of great work in his first season as a head coach. But I mean, he's been doing a lot of coaching for a while, so this isn't a shock to me, at least. So I think Chicago's got the edge in this matchup, but I think if anything, Shan might hurt himself because he overthinks things. He puts a lot of thought behind things. So if he doesn't outcoach himself, he should be in a decent position. But we'll see.
I kind of agree there as well with you, James. About Shan, he can become his worst enemy at times because he overthinks matters. Andy, what do you think about this matchup? I mean, you know Shan very well, being that y'all both performed the same coaching tree, and you just came out of a tough matchup a couple weeks ago against the Aztecs. Who do you like in the championship game and why?
Yeah, so both of these teams, kind of cut their throat on trying to run the ball, and then the passing games have had varied success week in and week out. For these teams, some weeks Mexico City's tossing the ball a bunch. Some 2 weeks they're running the ball with Bentley, who's an amazing running back. Chicago kind of has tried to build themselves the same way with Hawkins and their core of receivers that work with E.T. King. I think the interesting part for me will be how does Deion Hawkins play in a game like this? Because, essentially I think the two passing offenses kind of weigh each other out. They both have the ability to throw the ball down the field at a high level. The question will be, can Chicago on the defensive side keep Ray Bentley from kind of blowing up? And then if they can't, can Deion Hawkins match that output to kind of keep Chicago balanced? Because, Ramos and Matt, they do their homework. They watch what types of passes you're throwing, etc. They're going to be ready to try and defend this Chicago pass attack. The question is, can Chicago, or at least for me, the question is, can Deion Hawkins as a running back, get those yards that they need and kind of break the game open to make Mexico City think about the run as well as the pass. But with that said, I think James makes some very good points about what we've seen in the Mexico City in the playoffs so far. The Aztecs, have had a couple chances to lose, and have somehow found their way out. And luck is, an important part of the playoffs. As we saw with, sometimes even a play that looks like it should be in bounds by everyone in the stadium. Sometimes you can get lucky and that can go the other way with this game. So, I think luck is a big part of it. And if Mexico City can bring that luck, they might be able to, kind of roll through. But to me, I agree. I think Chicago has the edge. It'll come down a lot to how Deion Hawkins can run the ball and can the Chicago defense play well. Because if they can keep Mexico City from getting in field goal range, or limit them to field goals and kind of score touchdowns over top of them, Chicago it could be set. I like the Wildcats to win it.
Okay. Before I even get into who I believe is going to win and why, this game is. Let's take a look at each team's kind of standings over the course of the season. Mexico City had the number 2 scoring offense. Chicago had the number 6 scoring defense. Mexico City had the 11th best passing attack. Chicago's passing defense was kind of middle of the pack at number 10 as well. Mexico City had the number 3 run offense, and this is where Ray Bentley kind of asserts his will. Well, Chicago, their run defense is pretty stout. They wind up being number 2 in the league. So it's going to be a little bit of a uphill climb. Then conversely, if you're looking at, Chicago's O against Mexico City's D, Chicago's scoring offense, number 4 in the league. Mexico City's scoring defense was kind of middle of the road, number 9. Chicago's passing offense was number 4, led by E.T. King. Mexico City's passing defense was middle of the road there as well as number 8. And Chicago's offense was running offense, getting Deion Hawkins on the ground involved and whatnot. Was middle of the road at number 9, and Mexico City's run defense was dead last. Like nobody worse. Number 16. And there are only 16 teams. So now, having revised these, let's say Mexico City jumps out to a 14-0 lead. Chicago's offense is kind of geared towards throwing the ball to begin with. So they'll be okay. Let's say if Chicago jumps out to a 14-0 lead, Mexico City will be finding themselves behind the 8 ball because they don't really want to throw. They'd rather pick when it's time to throw. So Matt Wilson has advantageous matchups on the outside. It's one-on-ones, maybe some one-on-nones with some busted coverages. Because at this point, this is their identity. They run the ball and hammer away with that weapon they call Ray Bentley, current league MVP Ray Bentley. And then when your defense is kind of, soft and mushy, and so they're having to include more hats at the line of scrimmage to kind of slow them down. That's when they take advantage of, one-on-ones to K.L. Barrett, to, what do you call himself? Handsome Richard, Richard Montague out there, and the rest of the plethora of weapons that are at Matt Wilson's disposal. But I don't see the game getting out of hand either way in such a fashion that either team would be completely out of their element. I see more of a grind fest where both teams early on be feeling out each other. Yeah, coming out the first quarter, you're looking at it maybe a 3-0 or a 7-3 ball game with either team leading. And then the tail of the tape will be that third quarter, because Mexico City has kind of this season, if you go back to check their stats in the third quarter, that's when they've asserted themselves in ball games where they go on 14-0, 17-0 runs. Will Chicago be prepared coming out the locker room to withstand that barrage or that surge, so to speak? And conversely, will they be able to keep Deion Hawkins involved? Now we know, look, we just went over the numbers. They don't really run the ball as much, but they do keep him involved, in the passing game, in the short passing game as an extension of the running game. Swing passes here, little check downs across the middle, kind of keep defenses honest and not playing away, to try and take away all the deep routes from E.T. King. We know E.T. King doesn't really turn the ball over like that as well. So it's going to be a ball game that's going to be decided in the fourth quarter. If it's too close to call, wow. Do I pick my kicking brother and Ramos? Do I pick my brother from another mother and Shane Varner? Wow. I gotta ride the current MVP and just the leg in Aztec Nation. I like the Aztecs by field goal. You know, so some to the tune, like we could call it to 27-24. You know, and I like the Aztecs to you know, and Ramos to finally get that first dub, that first championship trophy. You know, bringing, you know, it's leaving you United States soil. It ain't going too far. It's in Mexico, but yeah, I like Ramos and the Aztecs to prevail come Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central on Twitch. That being said, gentlemen, I wanted to touch upon, you know, now that the website is fully up and running about player progression, unless y'all want to go a different direction right now.
How about we announce a little something first?
Okay, go ahead.
How about we do our teaser first, because it kind of weighs into the calendar of the week, and so I wouldn't want to cut off since we're talking about the championship game on Wednesday. We want to make sure that we're talking about this as well. So starting tomorrow, via the Twitter and Facebook page of the SFL, the league is going to be running a social media contest, and that aim is to bring in more players before we even get to Twitch. So the goal of the campaign is going to be to bring in more user players. So this is a perfect time to tell your friends to join. Don't do it yet. I mean, you can go. Obviously, I'm not discouraging anyone, but tomorrow there will be a post going up. It's going to be a contest. The SFL is going to be giving some stuff away. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. And you know, it's not too difficult to enter. All you really have to do is going to be share a post, and then make sure you're signed up and make sure you're at the championship game on Wednesday. And the prizes are going to be kind of awesome. I'm really excited to help Cam in giving some of this stuff away on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, I think I can't wait to make it. So
yeah, we're so that'll go up tomorrow. It's going to be in conjunction with SFL or NFL Sunday, excuse me. We're going to be trying to get siphon some of that fan base off and bring them to the SFL. So make sure you're around on our Twitter page at Simulation NFL on Twitter. Make sure you're checking that tomorrow, because that's basically what I'll be doing all day while I'm watching NFL games, is keeping that updated on the social media challenge we got going on. And that'll go from Sunday until the championship game on Wednesday.
Very cool.
Okay. That is awesome. That's what's up. Now, what I want to touch upon, nothing, in depth or anything like that, because we do have videos out there for those that need to have full breakdowns of what's happening or how to get how to build your player and whatnot. I'm on the website now. You see the mouse just moving slowly across all the tabs. There's a tab here called Player Progression. So if you're a rookie or a newcomer in the league, this is where you come and you click and you pick the, these are all the instructions and.
Mighty, make sure you're presenting that to everyone, so that's what's on the screen.
I am currently doing that, sir, but thank you for reminding me. So
it doesn't. It's not showing that for me. James, are you seeing that?
Yeah, it just popped up.
So there you are. So on the website where it says player progression, this is where they'd have, instructions and, whatnot, if you're trying to create a player or if you're trying to, play around with some things. To get to a player of some kind, like let's say, I'd like to see what a running back look like if I gave him some attributes. Okay, so you'll click on the team logo, right? Okay, maybe not the Crabs, because they're now defunct, which is sad to hear. But nevertheless, see, become part of the Carolina Skyhawks, and from there, you see the listing of what type of players are available, and then you just go in there and play around with it. As well as, once you have done that and joined Discord and you're a rookie, we have a rookie activity tracker, folks. So, so now that you're a rookie, you're part of Discord. Your activity level is recorded here, and once the draft or the free agency process, the rookie free agency process goes by, the points that you have earned here you'll be able to use to make your player better than the rest of the rookies that just joined at the last second. So
that's awesome.
If there's any other reason to jump in, that'd be one. Hey, how about not having a rookie how about having a rookie that's better than everybody else's? How that sound? That sounds good to me. So gentlemen, if y'all have anything y'all want to chime in about player progression or anything, anything like that, this is the time.
Yeah, I'll go first. I love the player progression system. First of all, I think Cam and the league have worked really hard to put this on, and I think it strengthens us for years to come, because what it does is it gives us the build to set this league up in a way that we're not it's no longer kind of a copycat league from the standpoint that had we followed the 12-star system heading into next season, I almost guarantee half the teams or more would have a kicker as a star player. And now, and they probably would all be bronze. And now, you could put a guy like who's at the top of the board. The Booter is second. Well, I mean that's a kicker name. It sounds like, you could put that guy as your kicker, and by week 6 he could be a gold or a bronze or a silver. He could work his way up and surpass other kickers in the league just by sheer activity. And then what that does for you, is it means that by the end of the season, you could have 4 golds and 2 silvers and 8 bronzes. There's a lot of different ways that these teams shape up, and it's all based on how active everyone is, which, is in theory the point. We're not the whole goal of the league, in my opinion, isn't to, just have the owners dilly-dally around. Because I like dilly-dallying as an owner. It's a lot of fun. I like being on these calls, but it's also to keep people engaged, have players, make sure you guys are having fun. And that's what the progression system is all about, is giving you guys the chance to take your players and make them better based on what you want your player to look like. I don't want anyone who's a receiving threat. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to be a red zone receiving threat just because, a team wants that. If you want to build a guy who's fast, go for it. Teams will adjust to what you want, and that's a good part of the league. Just like if the NFL had 7 speed guys as receivers in the draft, they're still going to get drafted. It's not like the NFL is going to go, you know what, we're only taking red zone receivers this year. So I think this greatly increases the profitability of the league from a team standpoint. And I'm pumped. I can't wait to get it started.
Me neither. The current Storm guys have been kind of playing around with, hey, what I'm gonna be looking like next season. Okay, gentlemen, let's not get crazy. Everybody can't be the best. We got a salary cap we got to stick under. So we've been kind of playing around with what will work and what wouldn't work, and what we could live with for at the beginning, and what we can't live with without at the beginning, kind of thing. So it's been fun, playing around with things and trying to see, trying to think outside the box, and so I like this, this extra layer of, I call it realism, some call it challenge. At the end of the day, it's all, it's to benefit the league as a whole. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I concur. I said because I obviously put in a bid, and every owner that I spoke to, they were, somehow or another we got to, how do you plan on building your team, and how do you view, how do you view your franchise from an ownership perspective? And I said every time it was, if it's good for the league, it's good for me, and it's good for my team. And so I think the progression system is going to be great for the league. It's going to increase player activity, which is the main goal of the SFL, which is to expand and grow. And I think this system really lends its hand to that. That's where we wanted to go. This system definitely points us in that direction. And, I just hope the rookies understand how important it is to be active, because there's going to be, like, especially the expansion teams, we're already behind. Like, all the expansion teams are already going to be behind the power curve because we don't have the returning veterans that, like a Tom Pepper to Vancouver or an Alex Dominguez to Alaska, or, Chicago or Mexico City. They're going to have a ton of people coming back as well. And so, not to say that the new franchises won't be able to reach out and grab some veterans and help bolster their team, but the rookies are going to be more important than ever this year. And I hope they take the progression system seriously and they put a lot of energy in and help their team grow and become successful.
Awesome. All righty. We just had this past week our SFL honors, where we crowned, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player, MVP, and congrats to all the champions. Even though I wasn't one of them, I ain't mad at y'all. It's okay. It's all good. The deserving people are the ones that won, so I can't hate on it. But we, not to be outdone, we got our own honors. We got together. Andy and I brainstormed. It was a lot of electricity in that chat, going on back and forth. Just two great minds. Like when I think of great minds, I feel like the leader. Just big brains. Great mind. Just you bouncing ideas and bam, we have an all-pro list. And here it is, in all this glory. So we put together an all-pro list for season 9. And I'm sure, Andy, tell me, if this was the team you had this season, what would your record have been? What would your record have been?
I mean, my record would have been very clearly, let's see, there's 14 regular season games. Then it would have been, 3 playoff
12.
Games? So 17-0?
12 regular season.
Or 15-0. So 15-0, and then, I mean, depending on if it's a 15-game season next year for the championship, probably – my guess would be 60-0 if I kept this team together.
I'll probably be 30-0 this season. We'd probably be winning games that we shouldn't be, we're not even playing. Just that's how dominant this team is that we just put in front of y'all. At quarterback, we got the last season's MVP, this year's MVP runner-up, E.T. King, Mr. No Turnover. You got quarterback that turn them all over, and he does the opposite. Anyways, E.T. King at the range. Right then and there, you're sure to a winning record. Okay? Then who you put behind him? You put the assassin Ray Bentley? Oh, come on, man. That's just unfair.
And then when split back. You split back with Kim, too.
Yeah, Kit. And it's not like you could catch your breath as a defense. Like, Ray Bentley's not running the ball. Oh, my gosh, it's JCK. Yes, it's only the league leader in touchdowns coming at you.
Well, so it's not like you go, oh, thank goodness they're going to throw the ball. Oh, it's a dump off to Jake Calvin-Kemp. Crap.
And then when the defense gets nosy, you got Prince Esco just catching 50-yard bombs, averaging what? I think he averaged something like 200-some yards a game. So just something stupid, ridiculous. Like Esco was something else. I still remember the game against Baltimore where Prince Escobar had 200 yards receiving at halftime. At halftime. Like, come on, man. Then you got Daly Holder on the other side. For those that don't understand, Daly Holder, I believe, had 1,700 yards receiving in 11 games. Like 11. Like week 1, he wasn't even on the team. He was like, oh, San Antonio got a team? I'll join. He did that week 2, and he did that damage. Had he been playing for week 1, who knows the kind of numbers he could have had. Then you got all he does but catch touchdowns, Jared Cochran. Like, that's literally all he did. If he caught the ball, it was a touchdown. Jared Cochran. So, Andy, I remember when we brainstormed, you looked at the list and you weren't sure about Elijah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the guy is a great tight end. It's not something where, I was trying to discredit the season that he'd had. I simply, I like Cody Taylor for kind of the pop that he gives over the top and the security that he gives down the middle of the field for Atlanta. You know, for St. Louis, has as much as they struggled, you know, just to find someone that could catch the ball. You know, it's good to have Swayman there, and I think that was your argument too. Was, you know, he really was the focal point of that offense, which is true, and that I think why you made the list as opposed to, you know, me arguing for Taylor a little bit more. And, you know, I think it just comes down to different opinion. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'd pick a tight end over my guy in Vancouver, Mr. Northrop.
Hey, fair enough.
And you're talking about weeks that he played. I didn't look at it, but he played. I think it was 4 or 5 weeks at most. So like, his numbers are going to be way lower. But like, I don't know. He could be running for averages there. That's something I got to go look back at. But I like him. I thought Taylor played an amazing season, and Swain was a great player for St. Louis as well. So in all honesty, if I could put all 3 of them on here as tight ends, I would. But you know, had to make a choice somewhere.
Fair enough. At kicker, you know, we got Eric Walsh, who did not miss a kick this season for Baltimore. On defense, that D-line. Man, listen. Y'all know I'm a defensive guy. I love me some defense. If a final score of a game is 1-2, I'll take it. Yes, there's a way to score 1 point. I just found out the other day. It's a beautiful thing. A safety on an extra point. I just found that out the other day. It's awesome. If 1-2, I'll take it. Anyways, a D line like that, like I don't keep your linebackers, keep your cornerbacks, keep your safe. I'll take that D line right now. The D line featuring Ludacris, Big Sexy, and the league leader, all time in sacks, and Rick O'Reilly. I mean, that quarterback gonna be sweating bullets. And I ain't talking about when he's throwing the ball. He's gonna be sweating while he's under center. Like, whoa, hey, y'all better give me time. These boys, they're looking fierce. At linebacker, we got Alex Cross, who led all linebackers this season in sacks with 6. Like Queen City this season, they had their defensive bill was different, and Alex Cross, man, he came out the gates on fire. Like I believe in the first game he had a sack, a tackle for loss, interception. Like it was some in a pass deflected. It was like he filled every stat category. It was crazy. You got the Clan Slaughter, you know, linebacker for St. Louis, who led all linebackers this season in tackles for loss. You got Shane Hornish, who was just a menace for San Antonio. One of the reasons why the last 2 games, I believe they outscored their opponents like 1,000,000 to -1. It was just what San Antonio did the last 2 games was crazy. And then you got the big, in my eyes, the best 2-way linebacker in the league this season, Espen Rayel. If you need him to stop the run, he there. If you need him to cover tight ends, he there. If you need him to play deep, you know, the deep safety on Hail Marys, he there. There wasn't a thing. You need a hot cup of coffee, he got you. Like there's not one thing he didn't do this season. What did you think of this group of linebackers, Andy?
I think it's a strong group. You know, I think honestly, like it's kind of a silent group. You know, it's not, from what I witnessed this season, it's not kind of the Ajamu Afolabi kind of jumping up and taking plays away. I mean, Alex Cross kind of had some of his days in the sun. But, you know, you didn't hear Slaughter's name much. You didn't hear Rael's name as much as I know Shan would have liked. But these guys were just solid workhorses who did their job. And that's what linebacking in its essence is about, is just doing your part, making those tackles when the runs are coming, you know. And these guys did their job, and they did it exceptionally well with the sacks and tackles for losses. All of them. Incredible players. And I think they deserve to be on this list, if not for their efforts, but for the nod that it should, it better give them heading into free agency this offseason.
Now, James, I know that you got to spend some time with the Clan Slaughter, being the head coach while you were down in St. Louis. Like, tell me about, like, you know, what went behind his training during the offseason to make him the player that he was, you know, we saw on the field for the Gladiators this season.
Yeah, so Declan and all our linebackers really played such a integral role in our defense. You know, where you see a league that's predominantly run with dime and nickel, we were in running 3-4, 4-3, and sometimes that hurt us. But then, towards the end of the season, they were able to maximize on that build. And I think the linebackers really gave some teams, we gave Atlanta 2 very tough games. We gave Tallahassee a very tough game at the end. And Declan Slaughter coming up big in key situations, making those plays, really bailed us out a few times. So
good stuff. And bringing up the rear, like literally, because they're nickelbacks, they're cornerbacks back there. We got cornerback Jared Olsen from San Antonio, doing his thing. I believe he was second or third in the league in interceptions. You got Luscious Sanders doing his thing in Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland wasn't known for their defense, but because there was, in so many shootouts, Luscious, man, he held his own back there. At free safety, you got old but not old Coma Kaleka. Like, it's what Coma did this season between manning the deep middle for Cleveland and also being the ace returner that we know him to be was sensational. You got Nick Nitro, number one run D. You got to be well represented between Luda and Nick Nitro, just shutting down the run for the Atlanta Swarm. And last but not least, I had to get Jace Jefferson in there as a nickelback. You hear nickelback, you're like, nickelback? Isn't that usually a cornerback spot? Well, you got to understand, some teams like to play big nickel where their slot corner is really like a safety, so you could kind of body and play linebacker if necessary, and still be able to run with the wind with slot receivers and tight ends. And Jace Jefferson could do that with the best of them. I believe he had 11 picks this season as well. And again, let me restate, Coma Kaleka is the returner, not only for the season 9 list. I believe he should be the return all time. Like, he is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think SFL returner, you close your eyes, you see a picture of Coma Kaleka returning a kickoff to end the game to win for Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up for those that remember that game. It was on the wrong side of the outcome, but that's what your kick returner should do. Like, be a game changer. And that's what Coma Kaleka is. James, seeing that you had not seen this list prior to its unveiling right now, what do you think of the AP list? Do you feel like we snubbed anybody? Is there anybody there that you feel is not worthy of being up there? What say you?
I thought as dominant as J. Calvin Kim was, I thought Walsh out of Queen City was probably, stats-wise, I thought he had a really great season. And so that would have been like my only real change. I mean, no dispute, E.T. King is the best quarterback. And really the last 2 seasons he's put together. The fact that he's about 2-to-1 on his touchdown to interception ratio is insane when most quarterbacks are 1-to-1 or worse, 0.8-to-1. And so it's really, I thought the list was really good. Yeah, I don't have any problems with it at all.
Can I get y'all to come to Alaska? The people on the list, even fair. I'll split them with you, and Andy. You take the O, I take the D. I'm playing y'all. I'm playing. Dude, this is a dream team. I don't want to steal that moniker, but this is the dream team. The season 9. This is it right there. Like, yeah, we play for the trophy because winning is at the end of the day, that's what we try to do. But heck, if you can't win, get on this All-Pro list. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your player balled out. Your player was the man because he was on the list. I'll post this list in the daily discussion for y'all to take a look at. A little later on, and y'all can have we can have conversations about those that were left off, and those that were on that y'all feel shouldn't be on as well. So, gentlemen, do y'all have anything else to chime about, talk about, want to bring up?
I am good.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think we should just maybe highlight the schedule of events that's coming up, because I think we do have one more event before the championship, correct?
We have actually a couple. We have a couple.
Yeah, the SFL expansion is Monday the 23rd at 7 Central. So Monday, mark your calendar. And then Tuesday, 10/24, 7 Central, the SFL Media Day. Mark your calendar for that as well. And then the championship game, obviously, is Wednesday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Make sure you mark your calendar for that. And then tomorrow, make sure you are on the lookout for the social media challenge. Make sure you get involved and try and make sure you're entered to win.
And that's that. So, social media challenge tomorrow, Monday night. I'm pretty sure that James can't wait for Monday night. He'll find out if do I get a team or do I go to Alaska or
I bet you can't wait if I don't get a team.
Who me? Me? I can't. Listen, I have the patience. I have the patience of a saint. Tuesday night is media day. I have no idea what that's gonna be about, but I have a weird feeling it's gonna be a blowout of all sensations. Wednesday night championship game. You got the Aztecs. You got the Wildcats. It's at the Wildcats. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, on the front page of Twitch. Like, we cannot tell y'all how big that is. The number of eyeballs that will log on to Twitch and see the SFL being featured is going to be ridiculous. So y'all just keep your heads up for that. Let's keep in tune. For those that aren't part of Discord, jump in Discord, make your rookie, start being active so you can accrue the points. For those that are in Discord, I'm gonna post a season out our pro list in a few seconds so y'all could yell at me and Andy or give us props, whatever it may be. As long as y'all do something, I'll take it. But I'm good for now. Gentlemen, are we good?
I'm good.
See.
Okay. So for Andy Hamilton, who blessed us this week with his presence, for James Richards, who is nervously awaiting for Monday night, am I getting a team? Am I getting a team? I am Max Paul, Mighty RX, owner of the Storm, co-host of the podcast. Yes, I said co-host because the host finally joined me today. I will catch y'all Monday night when we find out if James won or not. Peace.
Peace.